Hey, how are you guys? Welcome to another video. This is JC Diaz. In today's video, I have a really controversial reaction video I want to do for you guys. And this is between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. There is a beef going on between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. And I wanted to do this reaction video because, I feel like this is a fine example of how, black and brown people are always divided. And instead of coming together, we always like to tear each other apart. And this is one of those examples. I think it's actually a really sad situation. But let's go ahead and start the reaction video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Hey guys, welcome. This is JC Diaz. Welcome to another reaction video. In this occasion, I want to react to this beef that has been going on between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith. They have been beefing now for a while, and I think it's wild that, two grown-ups, guys over 50 years old, are still arguing like little kids. Let's go ahead and start the reaction video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go ahead.
Overrated sports personality right now.
I've already answered that question. No reason to reiterate. Stephen A.
I'll be remiss if I didn't ask this question straight up, and you can do with it how you deem. What is it between you and Stephen A. Smith?
Look, and I got to be respectful. You work with Stephen A., and so
this has
I
nothing.
Don't want to go.
Listen. Look, you said you go keep it a buck.
A thousand.
Keep it 1,000 now. At the end of the day, I'm cordial with Stephen A. Smith just like I'm cordial with anybody else. It shouldn't come with a filter preface with it, and it's not to say that I'm about to sit there, hey, I got you. No, it's just a simple question.
Your words, your statement.
What is it up with
man,
you and Stephen A.
I've done the homework on Stephen A. He's fraudulent. He's lying about his college basketball career. He's admitted he's lying about his college basketball career. If I sat in the media space for 20 years telling everybody I played for Big House Games and I got a full ride scholarship after knocking down 17 straight three-pointers in a scrimmage on a Sunday when they played a game on Saturday and they hosted a scrimmage on Sunday and I knocked down 17 straight three-pointers and they gave me a scholarship on the spot. Anybody familiar with HBCUs? Anybody familiar with Winston-Salem State and how little money Winston-Salem State has and had back then? They're not giving out scholarships on the spot to anybody. It's
all right, guys. So I don't know what to say as of yet. I guess I have to wait to listen to a little bit more about what's going on here. Now, my question is, how does Jason Whitlock know that Stephen A. is lying about his basketball career? Does he have any proof? Like, can you come up with any proof, Mr. Whitlock? If you can come up with proof, then, we'll probably believe you. But I don't know. So far, you sound like somebody who is jealous. That's the vibe that I'm getting right now, as of right now. But let's continue to watch and see what happens.
a lie. and I've done the homework. And he runs around with these former teammates. There's some dude named Gary Stevens that, if you go back and look at the newspaper articles like I did, Gary Stevens was some 6'3" guard. The Gary Stevens that Stephen A. runs around with is some 5'9" midget who played basketball up in New York for some school called Old Westbury. They're running around taking flights and posting Instagram photos. Yeah, we're Winston-Salem State teammates. It's all a lie. It's fraudulent. Everybody has seen someone like Stephen A. Smith, who in 4th grade, by his own admission, got held back because they thought he was retarded. When he was in 11th grade.
Whoa. See, that right there is not good. This disrespecting others, calling Stephen A. retarded, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And who cares that Stephen A., if he was playing basketball or not? Like, why is that such a big deal to you? That's what I'm trying to understand. What did Stephen A. Smith do to you that you have to resort to offending and calling names? Like, what? Why don't you tell us, what did Stephen A. Smith ever do to you that you resort to this type of language? Let's continue.
His counselor laughed at the thought of him going to college. And again, someone like me that's a journalist that we're the same age. We came up together. Mm-hmm. I know how fraudulent he was as a sports writer and how they had to rewrite everything that he did. And to see him passed off as the face of sports journalism and the top of the profession. Cat Williams already done told you what that was about. They all get installed. Bob Iger and the $20 million a year that they give this guy to be a puppet and the standard for sports journalism. It's a joke. And I know I know it factually. He knows it factually. None of his teammates, his alleged teammates,
So he did mention the $20 million a year that Stephen A. is getting. I think that's right there sounds like a big factor into why this guy is so jealous of Stephen A. Smith. That right there shows exactly or approximately why he is so jealous. Let's continue.
Won't talk on the record because I've tried to interview virtually all of them. Mm-hmm. They won't address it. Winston State, what was Mama Roseboro that he had on TV pretending like she was his college professor? She was some sort of secretary in the president's office. I could go on and on and on. He's doesn't know sports, doesn't follow sports. You're at the NBA finals playing solitaire. NBA finals. That would be, if you caught me at a strip club playing solitaire, you would think I was gay and didn't like women. If I catch you at an NBA finals playing solitaire, I think you're gay and don't like basketball.
That doesn't even make sense. Come on, man. How low do you have to go to degrade somebody and treat somebody wrong? That is really low, brother. You're over 50 years old. I'm assuming you're in your probably 54, 55 years old. You can do better than this, brother. What's going on here? This is why black and brown people are never united. We are always tearing each other down. Meanwhile, all the other communities come together and they work together while we are destroying each other. Do you guys know that a black man or a brown man will shoot another black man easier or faster than he will shoot a white person or somebody from another race? That's how bad we are divided. And this is a perfect example. Two grown men, popular, who make a lot of money, going at each other instead of coming together and uniting our culture. Let's continue.
How is he gay? Because he's one.
Like, God,
come on, bro.
God,
Come on, bro. You push it. Come on.
So
I got
you
some.
think Stephen
That's
A.
your
Smith
takeaway from
is
what I
fraudulent?
just said. Your takeaway is you think I didn't say
I understand what you're
he
saying.
was gay. I just said he got 2 kids. I'm not saying that, but he don't like sports. He's playing solitaire at the NBA final. I know y'all collect a check with him, and I know the idolatry issues, and we have this whole thing because someone has a bunch of money. We think they're smart, or we think there's someone worthy of respect. Having a bunch of money don't mean anything in a world this corrupt.
I think.
See, my question again is, why is this guy so hurt? What did Stephen A. Smith do to this guy that he is so hurt? I think we need to get to the bottom of this. I think he should, go to someone, come on my podcast. I'll give you an interview. I know that I'm not so big, but I'll give you an interview and you tell us, why are you so bothered by Stephen A? What did he do to you that you are so mad about him as a person? We need to get to the bottom of this. Maybe you should let us know, what is it that Stephen A did to you? Let's go ahead.
Tends to indicate that you're willing to be corrupt, you're willing to be compromised.
So I'll say this, right? As long as Bob Iger, Disney is giving me the opportunity to expand my platform, I don't feel a way like you feel. They've been unbelievable to me.
Don't ask me, ask Cat Williams. Cat Williams is the one that told you how this game operates. Blame Cat Williams. He told you how to get installed. And a lot of it has to do with bending over. Period. End of story.
I can't.
Wait. Is this guy insinuating that Stephen A. Smith is gay? That's what it sounds like. He is saying, ask Cat Williams, and sometimes you have to bend over in order to get on or to become famous or whatever. Is that what he's insinuating? You guys, can you guys comment below on the comments? Just let me know if that's what you guys got out of what he just said. Is he insinuating Stephen A. Smith is gay? Let's continue.
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
That's very aggressive.
You asked, Cam. I sat here and said,
that is your take. That's true.
You're right.
That is true.
Right.
That's your opinion.
You're right.
That is your opinion.
You are absolutely right, Mr. Whitlock. Who am I to tell you you're wrong or right? But with working with Stephen A. Smith, right, and I see how people attack him, I think he is the peak of the spear in sports journalism, whether we want to agree with it or not. How he got there is his story to tell. I'm not sitting up here insinuating that there was any type of illegitimacy to him just working hard, paying his time to be.
Think he made 17 straight threes?
I don't.
See, I agree with Cam Newton on this one. Stephen A. Smith is right now the most popular sports host, and in any show. The guy has his own show on YouTube. He just signed a contract with SiriusXM to have his show there too. Plus he works on ESPN. Plus he covers the NBA. Plus he goes on different podcasts. The guy he's working hard, and he is on top of his game right now. And it's unfortunate that you have some haters like Jason Whitlock that has to be putting someone down who he should actually try to and take it, take advantage and learn from it. But man, yeah, Stephen A. is definitely right now. Stephen A. is the man when it comes to sports.
know if he did or
But
not.
what does that have to do with his
But they got
sports takes?
Going back to the tattoo.
It has a lot to do when your whole persona is based off of, hey, I was a former college basketball player. That's why I know the NBA, blah, blah, blah. He's built an entire brand around being a basketball guru because I played at Winston-Salem State under Big House Games. Trust me, if you found out I never played football at Ball State, it would undermine my credibility because that has been part of my brand.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the latest edition of Straight Shooter with yours.
Oh boy, now guys, you guys just listened to Jason Whitlock, right? Now we're about to listen to Stephen A. Smith. He responded to Jason Whitlock. So guys, buckle up, sit down, get some popcorn, get some food, get comfortable because this is about to get interesting. So without further ado, Stephen A. Smith.
Truly. In case you didn't know, that wasn't Norbit. That was Jason Whitlock. You know the difference. You know what Norbit is, right? Even though they look alike, that wasn't him. That was Jason Whitlock. You know,
Whoa, that's the introduction, bro. Really? I guess Stephen A is on his petty game today. I don't blame him though, but we'll see. Norbit, really, Stephen A? Wow. Let's go. Let's see what else Stephen A has to say.
it's so interesting. A lot of times, you know, a lot of people looking at me and say, Stephen A., you said you wasn't going to clap back. You wasn't going to say anything. You said when you went off on Jason Whitlock, over a year ago that you wasn't going to say much about it. But here you are, Stephen A. Again, I will remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that I have been being attacked by this man for over a decade. And the 2 times that I have spoken about him are the only 2 times that anybody has ever heard me say anything about him. But it does get to a point where you feel compelled to speak up because as I watched his interview with Cam Newton.
Wait, hold on. So Jason Whitlock has been going after Stephen A for 10 years? I didn't know he's been going after Stephen A for 10 years. That is crazy. I know they've been having beef, but I didn't know that it's been that long. But let's continue. Let's see what else Stephen A has to say.
On Cam Newton's show, 4th and 1. What y'all are missing, whether it's Emmanuel Acho or it's Marcellus Wiley or others who I will get to in just a second, certainly Cam Newton, what you're missing is that a lot of people are looking at it and acting like this is about the business. Now, this is personal. It's personal. Now, I'm not as personal as other people would be. Because let me assure you, and if you know anything about Jason Whitlock's background, you would understand. There's a reason you see his fat ass sitting in some cubicle somewhere.
Yes, Stephen A is being petty. He's mad, he's upset, but he's right. I mean, this is personal. You can clearly see when Jason Whitlock was asked how his eyes lit up and he went in on Stephen A. So yeah, I think this is definitely personal. I just wish that Jason Whitlock will, publicly will tell us or tell the world or tell the US what is it that Stephen A did to him to make him feel that the way he feels. I wish he would say it, but let's continue.
Scared to come out in public because he knows cats waiting for him. But he ain't worth it to me. He ain't worth it. Now you would say, well, then why are you addressing him? Here's why. Because of what he has systematically tried to do to black people in this industry.
Yes, I have noticed that every time I watch Jason Whitlock, he is usually bashing a black person, a black athlete, a black actor, a black actress, you know, and a black politician. His energy against black and brown people is definitely off. I don't know what happened to him in the past. You know, if maybe somebody brown or black did something to him, but the man definitely has a bias against black and brown people. So Stephen A is absolutely correct on this. Every video I watch from Jason Whitlock, he is always attacking somebody black or brown. Absolutely, especially athletes.
Personal on a whole multitude of levels. And I'll get to all of that in a second. I want to address first and foremost how pathetic and sick he looks. I mean, it's a real big time problem when it comes to him. It's hard to even put into words. Do you see his face when he's talking about me? You see his eyebrows looking like horns? You see how demonic he looks? I bring that up because he always claims to be doing God's work. Does that look like somebody doing God's work? I haven't even gotten into the details of what he's doing to show.
Facts. That's a fact. He's always claiming to be a man of God. He's always claiming to be a believer. But why are you attacking other people? You know, why are you going after athletes? Why are you going after other people? Instead, you should be doing the opposite. You should be spreading the word of God. You should be spreading the gospel if that's really the way you feel. But don't come here lying, saying that you are a child of God, and here you are judging other people and attacking other people. Yes, Stephen A is completely right on this one.
You that it's antithetical to anything that he swears he is doing. Because when it comes to being a pathological liar, no one is worse than him to himself, more so than the other people and the rest of us. It's to himself. But just for entertainment purposes, let me go back to what he was saying about my basketball career. Ladies and gentlemen, how many times have I said I tried? Somebody stood up there and said, he played in Winston-Salem State. I said, I tried to. I grew up poor. I can assure you my parents couldn't afford to pay for my college education. How did I graduate from Winston-Salem State? How did I go there without having to pay a dime? How'd that happen? It happened because I had a basketball scholarship. How did I get the basketball scholarship? Oh, I showed up for a workout. Well, you ever heard of the name Harold Funny Kit? Harold Funny Kit is a person that played at Winston-Salem State in the 70s, who remained close to the program, who drove me down from Queens, New York to Winston-Salem, North Carolina for a workout in the middle of the season because Clarence Big House Gaines, he called Clarence Big House Gaines and say, I got some talent for you. I want you to see this guy. Clarence Big House Gaines saw me, sat up there, put me out on the court with cats like Charlie Spell and others and said, get on the court and show me what you got. And I kept passing the ball. He called the timeout. He said, wait a minute. Ain't you supposed to know how to shoot the ball? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, then, God damn it, shoot the ball. And I went out there and I hit 17 straight three-pointers. I repeatedly stated,
oh, shoot. Talk your shit, Stephen A. Talk your shit. 17 straight three-pointers. That was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. Stephen A was the real Steph Curry. There you go. 17 straight three-pointers. That's pretty good. That's pretty decent. Let's continue.
I never did it before, and I never pulled it off since. That one day God was watching. How can somebody who proclaims to be doing God's work have a problem with somebody highlighting how a moment in their life involved divine intervention because they were able to do something they never did and they lucked up? Jason Whitlock's that guy. Because you see, if you listen to him long enough, he's the only one that has this unfeathered connection with God. It's God that touched him. It's God that has disciplined him. It's God that has come down upon him and touched him on the shoulder and blessed him with the knowledge, the know-how, the conscience, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help him, God, while he excoriates everybody that he can.
Yeah, Jason Whitlock is wrong for this, man. Like, you can't be out there saying you're a man of God and at the same time be putting everybody down. Like that is wrong, brother. Like, remember, God is watching everything you're doing. And when judgment day comes, he will call you to the front and say, hey, remember when you said this, and this about this, whoever. So you better stop playing with God, brother. You better stop playing with God, Let's go ahead.
And I've sat here on numerous occasions, totally disgusted with the vile, despicable, disgusting human being that he is, who has lied about me, who has denigrated me, who even went as far as to call my pastor, to try to interview my pastor about me. A pastor is a spiritual individual with a connection to individuals from his congregation. Similar.
Yeah, that's a fact. You cannot be calling someone's pastor and ask them about that person. That's kind of like a lawyer. It's a client and lawyer client privacy. So you can't do that. That's ridiculous. I can't even believe he tried to get an interview with Stephen A's pastor. That is crazy, bro. Let's continue.
To what a priest is in the Catholic community, which means that the communication that happens with one another is between one another. Everybody knows that. That man says he's a man, he's doing God's work. But he don't know that? Of course he knows that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen, because he never has. Have you seen the things religiously associated with Jason Whitlock? He's on Blaze Media. Maybe I should, because I do know a few people.
Wait, isn't Blaze Media the company that what's his name? Glenn Beck. I think Glenn Beck is with Blaze Media, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm watching this video for the first time, just like you guys. So I'm finding a lot of this stuff out right now in real time. But I think Glenn Beck is the one that is part, or is one of the head of new media. But let's go ahead and continue.
Isn't Glenn Beck running Blaze Media?
There
Maybe
you
I
go.
should give him a call and remind him of the things that Jason Whitlock has done. Maybe I should point to some of the demonic, evil, vicious stuff that he has done to me, Chris Broussard, Scoop Jackson, Jamel Hill, Michael Smith. List goes on and on. Maybe I should tell the people that he works with how people at PTI, pardon the interruption, when he used to sub there, they looked at him and they said, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing these kind of things to people all the time? He said, you don't know? The money. But he shows up on Cam Newton's podcast and says he don't care about the money. Really? Sure about that? You want to hang your hat on that? Because I know otherwise. So I could sit here and go off all day, every day, about the disgusting speck of a human being that he is, the piece of shit that he is.
Hey, you can tell Stephen A is upset, man, because usually Stephen A doesn't curse. He's very clean, you know, when in his vocabulary. This guy is really smart, actually. So I'm surprised to see him cursing. So that means he's really upset about this situation. Let's go ahead. Let's keep going.
But then I said, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I mad at him? Ladies and gentlemen, I dropped the ball. You know, I got up because I wanted to sit in front of the camera and I wanted to make sure he looked at a suit he never has a snowball's chance in wearing. You know, you're somebody that was critical of Cam Newton along with numerous other people in the past. You were talking about how they dressed and how they looked and all of this other stuff. And I'm sitting there thinking about the cruelty that you exercise when you talk about so many people. And for some reason, it escaped me what the real problem is until I saw you on Cam Newton. Before, I just thought you were evil, bro. I just thought you were evil. But you're jealous. Because you see the career that you say that I have that's fraudulent. No wonder you keep going back to shit from 40 years ago when I was playing basketball in high school and I tried to play in college. I've been the first to tell anybody, please, I couldn't shine these players' shoes. How does it feel to know, Jason, that you're still not better than me? You have never heard me say what I'm about to say about anybody in this business, because I don't talk about my colleagues and my contemporaries that way. I want everybody to get theirs, but I have whipped your ass. You're a columnist, I'm a columnist. You're a New
Ouch. Stephen A is spitting facts right now, guys. He's about to burn Jason Whitlock really good. Let's pay attention because this is getting good. This man is not playing around.
York Times bestseller? No, you're not, but I am. Television ratings on ESPN, we're approaching 14 consecutive years of being #1 in the mornings. You don't have a job.
Ouch.
Fox don't want you. ESPN
Ouch.
don't want you. None of the
Ouch.
networks, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, they don't want you.
Ouch.
And what nobody has echoed or has come close to echoing other than Emmanuel Acho, who deserves all the credit in the world for bringing this up, is how you lean on Christianity. Why is that relevant? Because that's what the Blaze Network does, or the Blaze Media. It's conservative, leaning, religion and stuff like that. That's what they do. You're doing it because you're doing what's politically expedient so you can keep a job. How do we know this? Because how else would you watch me so much? Why do you know every little thing I do? Do you understand, Jason Whitlock, that you have done the equivalent of literally getting on your knees right in front of me? That's how.
Whoa. Did he literally just say that, you know, get off my D? You know what I mean? Is that what he's saying? He's pretty much saying that he's on his these nuts. Oh my God, Stephen A. Wow. He's literally saying Jason Whitlock is on his nuts. I see you. I see what you're trying to do, Stephen A. I see what you're trying to do.
How desperate you sound. Talking about me all the time. In this profession, I have whipped your ass. You can't touch me, bro. There's levels to this, and you ain't on it. I got up and walked around studio, not just to show off my suit and the relatively decent shape that I'm in, but because you never move from your seat, you don't want people to see you with your walrus-looking ass self. All you do
Ouch.
is pop shit and talk about people. You stopped covering sports a long time ago. You just talk about people who cover it. Because it ensures that you don't have to go to games, you don't have to communicate with people, and you don't have to be confronted by the people that you mess with outside of this business. You tell them how you slide a tape recorder under Allen Iverson's hotel door when you try to listen to this conversation. You tell them that?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Are these, we're listening to breaking news right now? Is this what it is? He put a recorder under Allen Iverson's hotel room to find out what his conversation was about. This is breaking news. You can actually go to jail for that. That's privacy, breaking privacy, right? That's crazy, guys. We're listening to breaking news right now.
You tell them how many of us in the industry that you went to bosses and tried to undermine us to prevent us from getting paid? You talk about how many careers you've tried to squash? No, you don't talk about that. You say, I'm doing God's work. I don't care what people think. It's about me and him. You must have been really messed up to be so fixated on God at this point in time in your life because you know the damage you tried to do to other people. Let me go through some of the headlines just for our edification. Is this God's work? How Jason Whitlock is poisoning ESPN's Black Grantland. That's from an article in 2015.
Wow, so he is now bringing the receipts. He's bringing receipts. You know, these people, before you start any beef with anybody, you got to make sure you do your research and your homework because you know that person is going to come at you. So you better bring receipts. You better back up what you're saying. And you better, come up with receipts because you know they're going to go at you and they are going to bring receipts. So I don't know, Jason Whitlock. I don't know about you, brother.
Encourage everybody to go read it. It's on Deadspin. Go read it. That God's work? How about this next headline? Show me the next one. That God's work? Jason Whitlock says Tyree Nichols died because officers were supervised by single black women. That's what you said.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's what he said.
That's bad.
That God's work? Is this God's work? No, Michelle Obama isn't trans, but here's why her critics repeat the false claim.
That is bad, bro. See, here's the thing. If you see the pattern here, right? The pattern here, as you can see, is every single person that he's attacked here is a black person. Every single person. I don't know what happened to Jason Whitlock in the past with black people that he is so adamant about going at black people. I really don't know. I would like to find out what happened to him.
That's God's work, huh? Oh, I got more. Show some more. The Blazers' Jason Whitlock rages against women's suffrage. Not everybody has to have a vote. So women shouldn't be voting.
Wow, Jason Whitlock. So you're telling me, after many years and of women fighting to gain more rights in this country, because women were back in the day, they were considered property. Literally, they were considered property. They were only above black slaves. They were considered, because black slaves have been considered 3/5 of a man. They were not considered a person. So women were barely above black men, but they were also considered property. And after many years of civil rights fighting, they finally, and they were not allowed to vote either. So they finally were allowed to vote after many years of fighting and protesting. And this is what you have to say, Mr. Jason Whitlock. You should be ashamed of yourself. Literally, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's God's work. That's God's work, according to Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock compares Black Lives Matter and Antifa to the KKK.
See, that is ridiculous right there. And again, you're talking about your own people, the black people. How can you even say something like that, you know? I would like to find out what happened to Jason Whitlock with black people to make him feel so, I don't know, so bad, to make him feel so crazy about and talk so much trash about black people. I would like to find out what happened to him.
That's God's word. So you went on your knees and prayed for those headlines. That's what you did. You are pathetic. Attacking Ryan Clark, a brilliant freaking NFL analyst, one of the best in the business, bar none, unquestionable.
Yeah, going after Clark is bad because Clark is one of the best analysts out there. He's a good dude too. He doesn't get, you know, the credit that he deserves, but that guy is pretty good. I watch some of his shows, the Pivot show. I watch him on ESPN when he's there as a guest on Stephen A. Smith's show. And Ryan Clark is always on point. You know, his takes are really good. So yeah, offending Ryan Clark doesn't work.
You attack him. What has he done to you? That's godly? That's acting on behalf of the good Lord? No. That's acting on behalf of somebody evil and disgusting and jealous who systematically goes about the business of trying to diminish and lower black people in our business because they're better than you, and you don't want anybody to see it that way. And if you're not broke, you will be soon.
Whoa, if you're not broke, you will be soon. But yeah, like Stephen A is saying, you know, Jason Whitlock is always attacking black people. And I wish that somebody will talk to him, because instead of being on our side and fighting for the rights of your people, you are always putting them down. And I think that is absolutely wrong. But let's continue watching.
Because chances are you're not hireable. You have no ethics, you have no morals. But most importantly, for the purposes of this conversation, Jason Whitlock, you don't have a career that compares to mine. I have never talked about that in any way, shape, form, or fashion about any of my colleagues. I reserve it especially for your evil, despicable, trifling ass.
Ouch.
But I'm not mad, because I realize why. It's
Why?
the jealousy.
Tell 'em.
You can't take the fact that I'm better than you. You can't take the fact that I'm more successful than you. You can't take the fact that
Tell him,
John
Stephen A.
Skipper handed you the reins to a website supposedly positioning you to be the black Bill Simmons, and you couldn't hold your own weight. You couldn't even get black people to work for you. Look at this right here. Allow me to read this to y'all. Keep that up on the full screen. Deadspin, Greg Howard, the author, article from 2015. This staff, the one Whitlock was praised by way of warnings that if the writers and editors wouldn't align with his vision, he would get rid of them, wasn't the one he wanted. The Undefeated was originally meant to attract the best and brightest young black talent in the country, with Whitlock's aim set so high that he at one point seriously tried to recruit the Athletics' Ta-Nehisi Coates, the sharpest cultural commentator in the business today. As things worked out, though, these young writers comprehensively refused to work with him. So did big-name ESPNers like Howard Bryant, Jamel Hill, and Stephen A. Smith, whom he tried to bring in as contributors, end quote. Stop right there. I'm a fraud. I didn't do X, Y, and Z. Ladies and gentlemen, he's saying that my education wasn't paid for.
Ouch.
He's saying I didn't write my own book. When
Ouch.
Amy Bell The editor at Simon Schuster, you can ask her yourself, Charles Sue, who runs 13A imprint at Simon & Schuster, would tell you, I wrote my own book, no ghostwriter. Everywhere he turns, he tries to lie, denigrate, and diminish because he's trying to get somebody to be smaller than him, not recognizing that physically most people are smaller than his fat ass. But it's okay.
Whoa, that was a curve right there. Most people are less skinny than his fat ass. Come on, Stephen A. Come on, brother. Don't be like that. Don't be petty. Come on, man. You can do better. Always take the higher ground, Let them talk. Once you're in a certain level, you have to let people talk and not go crazy about everything they say.
Because again, I understand where it comes from. It's jealousy. And it's the specter of a future where you're completely rendered irrelevant. You're not owning up to the fact that you had your chance in 2015 and you blew it. A year and a half you had to take the website off the ground to get black people to work for you, to build an organization, and you blew it. And it was completely financed by ESPN and you didn't get it done. John Skipper gave you an opportunity. Mr. Ince at Fox gave you an opportunity. Countless people looked out for you and you blew it. Yeah, you were a columnist. Highly respected because of your writing ability and your perspectives, because you do make people think once they're able to get past how evil and vile you are.
Ouch.
But in the end, what it comes down to is you're not cutting it. You started a podcast 2 years before me. The day that I started a podcast, you had 322,000 subscribers. You were at 322,000, I was at 0. You haven't even hit 600,000 yet. I'm at 1.35 million.
Ouch.
Jason, you keep losing to me.
He just terminated him right there. When he started, Jason Whitlock had 320,000 subscribers. Stephen A. Smith is well over 1 million now, and Jason Whitlock is still stuck in the same spot. He definitely burned him right there. Let him know, Stephen A.
You're not telling people what really hurts you. You keep getting
Facts.
your ass kicked by me.
Just tell us what's wrong.
You do a television show, I outrate you. You do a radio show, I outrate you. You go to podcast route, I outrate you. I look better, I feel better.
Ouch.
Nothing works for you against me except me shutting up while you run your mouth to create clicks so you can get a check. Because it's all you have. You don't have it because you don't have talent. You don't have it because some people don't want to listen to you. You have it because everybody knows that you're evil and you're despicable and you've napalmed the bridges.
See, that is a bad reputation to have right there. To anytime people spread rumors about someone, it could devastate their career, it could end their career, and especially if you are doing it to yourself. That is bad. That's bad.
That's why you can't get a job. Talking about your colleagues and contemporaries, stabbing them in the back at every turn. This is why I told you Emmanuel Acho. This is why I'm telling you Marcellus Wiley and others. This is why I'm talking to the people that are on Jason Whitlock's show. Fearless. He's scared of nothing. Evidently, y'all in contact Patrick Bet-David and talk about how he ran out of the studio the minute he was in this vicinity of Roland Martin, to the point where he almost got hit by a damn car because he was so damn scared of going up against Roland Martin.
Whoa, another breaking news, guys. I guess Whitlock left running from Roland Martin because he was scared that, something was going to happen between them. Crazy, crazy, guys. Breaking news.
And chirped and talked shit. And then when Roland Martin showed up, he ran like a coward.
Ouch.
That's Jason Whitlock. But it's nothing compared to who he is with his supposed friends and people who are close to him. I don't know your names, I don't care to. Anybody that's on this show, I wish you nothing but the best. I need you to go to church and I need you to pray. I need you to figuratively or literally have security. And I need you to make sure they're watching your back, because he will stab you in it. There isn't a black person in our business that would disagree with what I said. You don't believe me? Ask them. He is a lowlife, the worst kind. It's who he is. And I'm not going to go off and engage in profanity-laced tirades and all that stuff. I said enough. But do you know the reason I came up here with y'all today? He lied about him, a professor of mine. Said she wasn't really a professor. Woman at home minding her business, retired, and he's trying to denigrate her career to get at me. He brought up my boy Spank, Gary Stevens. He's a teammate and a friend, one of my best friends in the world, never bothered anybody. But because Jason Whitlock is so addicted and fixated on me, he's gonna go after my boys. It's who he is. And then he's trying to hide behind my quote-unquote bump my basketball career. I didn't have one. Cracked my kneecap in half. A couple of months after I got there, it was over before it began, damn it. Who cares? I'm 58 years old, in the business that you're in, and that's at the same time that you're in, smoking your ass.
House, talk your shit, Stephen A. Let him know. Let him have it. Smoke him, Jason wants to talk trash. There you go. You found the right one. It's undeniable. Stephen A is right now. He's the man on TV. It is what it is. So Jason Whitlock, you cannot compete with Stephen A. You cannot. You're wasting your time.
Smoking you. Excuse my language. You can't fuck with me, Jay.
Whoa, he just went gangster in there. Yo, Stephen A is not playing around. You can't fuck with me, Jay. That's crazy. Wow, Stephen A.
Not even a little bit. There's levels to this. And your ass is smaller than a cockroach compared to me. You're nothing.
That's a fact. There's levels to this, and Stephen A is at the top. He's at the top, and unfortunately, Jason Whitlock, you got a lot to learn to catch up to him, and everybody, some people are born with it. Some people make it all the way because of their work ethic, and Stephen A has made it all the way because of his work ethic. You cannot deny the man works hard. The man is all over the place. If it's not in ESPN, it's in a podcast. If it's not in a podcast, he's shooting his own show. The man works, and he deserves every penny that this man is making. He deserves it. So yes, let's continue.
You are an expert troller. I'll give you that. And you can evoke emotional responses and conversations because you're willing to stoop to the lowest of the low by attacking people's loved ones in order to get them. But know this, all you're doing is getting a reaction out of me to address how despicable you truly are. But in the end, understand that when your fat ass is sitting behind your desk and you don't want to roll around it because you don't want everybody to see how rotund you are, no.
How rotund you are. Wow. You know, Stephen A knows his words, buddy. I don't hear that word a lot, actually. But let's go, Stephen A. Let him have it.
Everything about my life is better than yours.
Ouch.
I've never said this about anybody else, and I never will. This is specifically for you. You've lost. I'm better than you.
Ouch.
The public says
Burn.
it. Everybody knows it. And you looked so pathetic, it had me wondering, really, he must be in really, really dire straits. So I decided to do something about that. Nice
boy.
studio.
Here we go.
Something you can't afford.
Ouch.
Somewhere along
Here
the
we
way.
go.
You know what I'm contemplating doing, Jason? I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe account for you.
What? That was savage right there. Started GoFundMe for Jason Whitlock? Come on, bro. This is the pettiest of the pettiness. There you go. You don't want to mess with Stephen A because he can get petty. He can definitely be petty.
Because clearly you're that desperate. That's why you talk about me so much. Look at your numbers when you're talking about me and look at your numbers when you don't. I keep you relevant. That's perhaps the worst insult of it all. Fat bastard Lock.
Ouch.
That's the title of the GoFundMe account. Fat bastard Lock.
Oh my God.
That's for you, my brother.
Whoa. Stephen A is making it rain. Make it rain, Mr. Stephen A. Make it rain. Yo, this guy is the definition of pettiness, bro. Now I know you don't play with Stephen A or he's gonna go after you and destroy your ass. Crazy, crazy.
Contrary to what you're willing to tell Blaze Media, you used to do that a lot, didn't you? After all, that's the only chance you had of getting some. Needless to say, probably didn't work for you either.
Whoa,
Because if
whoa,
anybody-
whoa, hold on. Hold on. So is he saying that he used to have to pay women in order to be able to have relationships with, relations with those girls? Is that what you guys think? Comment below, please, if you guys think that's what he's saying. Let's go ahead.
Something. It's you. Cam Newton, next time, my brother, because you know I love you. You gonna interview somebody and bring me up? Don't just sit there and let them talk shit. Ask questions. Let them prove it. I'm a fraud? How? What facts do you have?
Exactly. That's what I was wondering. When he comes and says Stephen A. Smith is a fraud, do you have proof? What proof do you have? Like, what did he do to you that you feel the need to come on a public platform and speak about him and talk about some things that are that are bad, rock bottom for someone? So let's continue.
I'm sitting there doing an interview with Glenn Bessinger the other day, and I talked about how growing up as a teenager, I saw a few people get murdered. Not like literally, oh, I mean, you hear gunshots, oh shit, you turn around and somebody's gone. I'm lying about that according to Jason Whitlock, like he was in Hollis, Queens, New York 40 plus years ago. How would he know? I'm a fraud, and do you believe this or that? I'm a fraud. How do you know? I didn't write my own book. How do you know?
How do you know? Exactly.
If you're gonna bring me up and you're somebody that's in my inner circle and you talk to me, grill them. Don't just let them talk smack.
I agree with Stephen A. If you're gonna interview somebody and bring up a question about that someone, for example, when Cam Newton asked him about what is it with you and Stephen A., well, at least you have to do some research and come up with more questions, and have an understanding of who Stephen A. Smith is, just so you can, maybe correct this guy or just tell him, plain and simple, I think you're wrong because this is what happened. But, Cam Newton told him that, you how Stephen A got there, it doesn't matter. What matters is that he got there, and he is a hard worker, and he's always been. So I think that was awesome. That was a good message.
For those of you who haven't heard the interview, I encourage you to go listen to it because Cam otherwise did a fantastic job. And I love that brother. And I'm going to show up on this show as well. I bet you he'll have better questions for me than he did for Jason Whitlock, Emmanuel Acho, Marcellus Wiley. I have my disagreements with y'all from time to time. And I appreciate y'all comments about me. Play that, please. Both of them, back to back, so people could know how supportive they were of me.
It sounds like a hater. Because, again, say what you will about Stephen A., and I've said a lot. Stephen A. is the best in the business. And it is not particularly close. So
these guys are right. Stephen A. is the man. He's the best in the business. He's all over the place. He works hard. And Jason Whitlock literally sounds just like a hater. I definitely agree with this guy.
Jason Whitlock, to me, he might be right about Stephen A.'s basketball career. Who cares? Stephen A.'s not a pro basketball player. But he's dead wrong about Stephen A. on TV.
I think this was a low ball move for sure from Whitlock, but it's on brand for him. And unfortunately, sometimes people just have a brand.
What's crazy is, like, he's such a good villain.
No, he's a great villain. Like I said, I give him credit for that. Like he gets
a good villain. He goes at like women and children.
Yeah.
Like he does like the criminal thing you're not supposed to do. Any marginalized community, he's like, they can get it.
Yeah.
Mentally handicapped, don't
Come
care.
on, man. Dropping the R word in 2026, you don't care. You don't
He
care
don't care at all.
He doesn't care.
Bro, he all right, bro.
And then the worst part though, he does it all under the guise of Christianity. That's the worst part. Like
Facts.
he does it all under.
He's a fake Christian. He does all this under the name of God and under Christianity, and that is really bad. You're not supposed to be playing with the name of God or take God in vain. So that is unacceptable.
Out of context, a lot of people do that under the guise of Christianity.
Right, but like it's the craziest thing.
Tell me if this thought bubble is going in your head. Okay, even if it is a lie, that's why you hate him? Is because he's a fraud and he lied his way into this position? It's a lot of ways into it, but doesn't the end justify the means? I don't know. Some guys have lied themselves into great positions. Remember in the game when they were giving out all the jobs to the best players? Remember there was a day with Jerry Rice and Emmitt Smith, and they didn't do the best in media, but they gave them the job because they were the best at sports. Then we realized, we don't need to give it to the best. We need to give it to just who can entertain, who can
Exactly. You don't have to be a successful athlete in order to be in sports on TV, in order to talk about sports. As a fan, I know a lot about sports, and I'm not even a professional. As a fan, you grow up watching sports your whole life, and after you're an adult, you still watch sports. So I don't see what this guy's problem is. I really don't see it.
Form, right? So if Stephen A. didn't have the best sports career, does that really negate the fact that he is the best in sports media? The biggest in sports media? That's my thought bubble. Tell me if y'all had the same one.
I want to say thank you for that. I really mean it. Not just to Emmanuel Acho, but even to the curly haired light skinned cat, don't know his name right now. They tried to call me out over the Zion Williamson thing. All I would ask in the future, fellas, is that when y'all talking about me, particularly with the Zion situation, could you do your homework? Because it's one thing to watch the league, it's another thing to cover it. What I said about Zion, I wasn't insulting him. I was telling the truth. It was in his contract.
Ouch.
There was a food clause. It's the truth. There are folks who watch the league, and there are folks who cover it. I cover the league. Remember that. Marcellus Wiley, appreciate you too. Although you could be a bit forceful, more forceful in addressing Jason, because you know a lot of brothers and sisters in the business, and you know what he's done. But I still appreciate y'all. Any kind of disagreement that we may have, or whatever, about a particular subject, ladies and gentlemen, please know I don't care. You have every right to disagree with me. I don't have any problem with anybody attacking my points and telling me why they disagree with me. I only got a problem when you attack me as a person. I don't think I deserve that, because there's a lot of people that have been in precarious situations at FS1 and ESPN and beyond, and you don't hear me saying a word. Some level of decency has to take fold. Spurring conversations with one another, y'all are.
I agree. Somebody has to be the adult in the room, because this could get ugly. This could get escalate to something worse. When two famous people are going at each other, I think it's a whole process, and especially two public figures like these two people. You know, I've always said that this is what keeps black and brown people divided. We love to fight with each other. We hate when somebody else is winning instead of being happy for them. This is the way it is. But let's go ahead. Let's continue.
All welcome on this show anytime you want. Happy to talk with y'all about differences and agreements. Everybody, except that no good bastard.
Ouch.
That has contaminated this industry.
See, I disagree with Stephen A. Smith on this one. I think he should actually extend an invitation to Jason Whitlock, have him come on his show and debate him and find out once and for all what the Stephen A. Smith did to Jason Whitlock, just so to give Jason Whitlock the reason to be talking bad about Stephen A. He needs to find out what did he do to Jason Whitlock to find out. So, and maybe they can come to an agreement. You know, maybe they can, I don't know, agree to disagree. You know, everybody's different, but at least as two black men, they should actually be united instead of, you know, bringing everybody separate, having everybody having to choose who they're gonna vote for, they're gonna talk to. So let's go ahead.
Systematically trying to slice and dice and hurt black people with executives, with networks and beyond, because he wants to be the one that everybody shines a light on, not accepting the fact that he had his chance and he blew it. You lost, bro. Whitlock. I know it hurts, but accept it. All this shit you talking is because I have whipped your ass in this industry.
Ouch, he took him down. This is what you call a devastating match that you just lost. You literally just lost. If I was Jason Whitlock, I wouldn't respond to this because it could escalate to something worse. But I think Stephen A. Smith won on this one. Yeah, Jason Whitlock has no competition being on Stephen A.'s level.
You are nothing. You're just lucky I'm not like other people who would see you. You know what they want to do with you, right? That's why you hide in Nashville. Damn near scared to come outside. Because you know the shit you've done to people. You know it was foul. You know it was lies. You know it was vicious. You know it was ungodly.
Ouch.
But you don't care. Because you're you.
All right, guys. So I'm going to give you my take, and I'm going to end this video after I give you my take. I honestly can see why Stephen A. is upset. But I'm just hoping that eventually these two can patch their differences, because our community, our our culture, black and brown people, we need to stop fighting each other and we need to stop the division. I believe, we need more people like this to be united instead of killing each other. If you guys look at Latinos are always united, except the ones in Miami. that's another story, right? But all the other Asian people, they're united. The only culture that is always not united is black people, African Americans. And every time one of them is going up, the other ones get jealous and they go at each other and they tear each other apart, instead of working together to make their communities better. I sincerely hope that these two can fix their problems, that they can have a sit down man to man, talk about the issues, and move on with their lives. We don't want this to end in something bad, in something worse. And we need these people to be united in order to keep our communities united. So that's my take on it. I see two grown men over 50 years old who should be drinking coffee together. Instead, they're both acting like little kids going after each other. So this is my take on this video, guys. I hope you guys like this reaction. If you like this reaction, please hit like, share, and subscribe to have the algorithm find this video. And we will continue to bring great content for you guys. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Hey guys, we really hope you guys like this reaction video. If you like this reaction video, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care. This is JC Diaz. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.